Have you ever found yourself tolerating behaviors from others that you know deep down you shouldn't? It's like playing a chess game where your opponent keeps bending the rules, making one unfair move after another, and yet you hesitate to call them out. At first it feels like a small thing, just one move, but over time these moves stack up, and suddenly you realize your pieces are disappearing and your position is weakening. Every time you allow someone to disrespect you, you're slowly sacrificing your most valuable pieces, your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. Imagine this: you're in the middle of a chess match. Your king is still standing strong, but your opponent is inching closer, taking small, calculated steps to take you down. Every move they make is designed to throw you off your game. If you don't defend yourself, you'll find yourself trapped in a corner with no moves left. Your peace, just like your king, is on the line. Now here's the hard truth: your time, your energy, and your peace are your most valuable pieces on the board. If you don't protect them, you risk losing the game altogether. In this video, we're going to uncover the 10 behaviors you must stop tolerating from others, because if you don't, you'll be left with nothing but an empty board and a checkmate you never saw coming. But before we dive in, pay attention to this story, which will help you better understand the wisdom in this material. The story of Alina, the weight of silence. In a quaint little town surrounded by rolling hills, there lived a young woman named Alina. She was known for her quiet nature and her ability to smile through anything. No matter how much others took her kindness for granted, she stayed silent, believing that enduring was a sign of strength. Her friends called her the peacemaker, but deep down, Alina felt like she was drowning in unspoken words. One morning, at the town's bustling bakery, Alina's co-worker Clara blatantly blamed her for a mistake she didn't make. "You forgot the delivery orders again!" Clara exclaimed, loud enough for the customers to hear. Alina's cheeks burned with embarrassment, but as always, she simply lowered her gaze and muttered, "I'm sorry." That night, her best friend Mia came over, venting about her day without even asking how Alina was doing. Alina nodded, offering support, though she longed to say, "Can't you see I'm struggling too?" Even her neighbor, Mr. Barnes, took advantage of her silence, asking her to run errands for him every weekend, while never offering so much as a thank you. Alina's life felt like a storm, a quiet one that raged within her unseen by anyone else. She told herself that being accommodating and tolerant was her way of keeping the peace. But the peace she sought wasn't in her life. It was only in the lives of those who took her silence for granted. One fateful evening, as the sun set over the hills, Alina found herself walking by the riverbank. There, she noticed an old fisherman pulling in his nets. He looked up and smiled. "You seem troubled, lass. What's on your mind?" For reasons she couldn't explain, Alina poured her heart out to the stranger. She told him about Clara, Mia, and Mr. Barnes, about all the times she'd swallowed her pride and stayed silent. The fisherman listened intently, then handed her a small, smooth stone. "This stone may look ordinary, but it carries a lesson. Drop it into the river and watch what happens." Alina hesitated, but did as he said. The stone sank swiftly, sending ripples across the water. "Do you see those ripples?" the fisherman asked. "Each one is a boundary. Without them, the river would be chaos, overflowing its banks. Boundaries don't disrupt peace, they create it. And just like this river, your life needs ripples too. You need to speak up when others cross the lines of respect and kindness." Alina stared at the water, her reflection distorted by the ripples. In that moment, she realized that her silence wasn't protecting her, it was drowning her. The next day at work, when Clara tried to blame her again, Alina calmly said, "I didn't make that mistake, Clara. Let's check the records to be sure." Clara blinked, caught off guard, and stammered, "Oh, well, maybe I was mistaken. When Mia began her usual venting that evening, Alina interrupted gently. "Mia, I care about you, but I need you to listen to me too. I've been feeling overwhelmed lately." And when Mr. Barnes knocked on her door with yet another request, she smiled politely and said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Barnes, but I can't help you this weekend. I need some time for myself." With each ripple, Alina felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. People around her began to respect her more, and she finally understood that boundaries weren't selfish, they were necessary for her peace. Later, Alina returned to the river to thank the fisherman, only to find the spot empty. The old nets and the small boat were gone, as if they had never been there. But the lesson he left behind stayed with her forever. The story of Alina teaches us that silence is not always golden. Sometimes it allows others to take advantage of us, leaving us feeling unseen and unheard. True peace comes from setting boundaries and refusing to tolerate behaviors that diminish our worth. The ripples we create don't break the calm, they shape it. And just like Alina freed herself from these behaviors, I'm about to share a few specific ones you should never tolerate from anyone. Recognizing and addressing these will help you reclaim your confidence and inner peace. Let's dive in. Before we begin with the first lesson, if you find these videos helpful, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated on the latest content. Let's begin. Number 1. Disrespecting your boundaries. Have you ever felt like someone keeps stepping into your personal space, emotionally, mentally, or even physically, without your consent? It's like building a fence to protect your garden, only to find someone constantly climbing over it, trampling the flowers you work so hard to grow. The truth is, when people disrespect your boundaries, it's not just inconvenient. It's a violation of your peace, your dignity, and your sense of self. Boundaries are more than just rules you set for others. They're expressions of what you value most. They tell the world, "This is where I end and you begin." Yet too often, we let others blur those lines, fearing confrontation or rejection. But here's the hard truth. Every time you allow someone to overstep your boundaries, you teach them it's okay to do so again. Imagine this. You lend a friend your car for a day, only for them to return it with an empty tank, a dent, and no apology. If you don't address this behavior, what's stopping them from doing it again? The same applies to boundaries in life. Whether it's a boss expecting overtime without notice, a friend demanding your attention at all hours, or a family member pushing you into decisions you're uncomfortable with, each act of boundary crossing chips away at your self-respect. Stoic philosophy reminds us to focus on what we can control: our reactions, our values, and our choices. You cannot control how others behave, but you can decide what you're willing to accept. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your boundaries are an extension of that strength. By enforcing them, you affirm your worth and demand respect. Now, you might be thinking, how do I enforce boundaries without seeming rude or distant? Start by communicating clearly. Use I statements to express how you feel and what you need. For example, instead of saying, "You're always interrupting me," try, "I feel unheard when I'm interrupted, and I'd appreciate it if we could take turns speaking." Next, follow through. If someone continues to disrespect your boundaries despite your clarity, be prepared to distance yourself. Remember, boundaries are not just to keep negativity out, they're to protect the positive energy within. In the end, respecting your boundaries is an act of self-love. You are telling yourself and the world that you are worthy of peace, respect, and dignity. And if someone refuses to honor that, let them go. Because nothing is worth sacrificing the garden of your soul. If you've watched the video this far, make sure to comment "Thank God" to let us know you're with us. Number 2. Mocking your dreams. Have you ever shared your deepest dream with someone only to have them laugh or dismiss it as impossible? It feels like handing someone a fragile, blooming flower from your heart, only to watch them crush it underfoot without a second thought. Mocking someone's dreams is not just criticism, it's an act of theft. It robs you of your motivation, your self-belief, and your vision for the future. Your dreams are like stars in the night sky, guiding lights that keep you moving forward even in darkness. When someone mocks them, they try to dim that light, leaving you stranded in uncertainty. But here's the reality: their laughter doesn't define your dream's worth. It reveals their own limitations. People often mock what they don't understand or fear to pursue themselves. Let's take a moment to reflect on Stoicism. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Dreams are daring by nature. They challenge the ordinary, break boundaries, and demand courage. Allowing someone to mock your dreams is like letting a passerby tell you which direction to take on a journey they've never traveled. Imagine an artist painting a masterpiece. Each brushstroke is deliberate, full of emotion and intent. Now imagine someone standing behind them, jeering, "Why bother?" No one will appreciate this. If the artist stops to argue or internalize the negativity, the painting remains unfinished, a beautiful vision unrealized. You are the artist of your life. Don't let anyone's mockery stop you from completing your masterpiece. How should you respond to such mockery? First, recognize the source. Often, people mock dreams because they reflect their own fears or failures. Their laughter is less about you and more about the mirror your courage holds up to their insecurities. Next, protect your dreams. Share them with those who uplift and inspire you, not with those who aim to tear you down. Think of your dreams as seeds in a garden. They need care, sunlight, and nourishment to grow, not the harsh winds of cynicism. Finally, use the mockery as fuel. Prove them wrong, not out of spite, but to honor your own potential. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every obstacle, including mockery, can become a stepping stone if you let it. Remember, dreams are sacred. They are whispers from your soul about what you're meant to create in this world. So the next time someone mocks your dreams, smile. You're not here to prove them right. You're here to live your vision. And when you do, their laughter will fade into irrelevance, like wind against a mountain. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please make sure to like it. Number 3, consistent negativity. Have you ever tried to sail through life with someone who always points out the storms, ignores the sunshine, and insists the ship is bound to sink? That's what being around consistent negativity feels like, a weight that pulls you down, no matter how high your aspirations soar. Negativity doesn't just ruin the moment, it erodes your confidence, dims your enthusiasm, and turns every victory into a fleeting afterthought. Picture this. You're building a sandcastle on the shore, excited about the design coming together. A negative person walks by, kicks some sand into your work and says, "Why bother? The tide will wash it away anyway." Sure, the tide may come in, but does that mean you stop building? Life's beauty lies in creating despite the impermanence, despite the challenges. Stoic philosophy teaches us that while we cannot control external events, we can control how we respond to them. Negative people, however, seek to control your inner peace by planting seeds of doubt and despair. They view the world through a cracked lens and expect you to see the same distorted reality. But why let someone else's broken vision dictate your path? Think about it this way. Negativity is like a toxin in the air. Breathe it in too long and it clouds your mind, poisons your heart, and stifles your spirit. If you surround yourself with negativity, whether from people, habits, or even your own thoughts, you risk becoming numb to the possibilities life offers. How do you handle this? First, set boundaries. If someone constantly brings negativity into your life, limit your exposure. Protect your mental space like a fortress guarding its treasures. Don't let someone else's storm destroy your calm. Next, counter negativity with positivity, not by arguing or forcing optimism, but by focusing on gratitude and perspective. When someone says, "Nothing ever works out," remind yourself of the countless things that have. Keep a mental list of your victories, no matter how small, and use them as shields against the weight of pessimism. And remember, not every negative person needs to stay in your life. Sometimes walking away is the kindest thing you can do for both of you. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not those who anchor you down. As Epictetus said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. At the end of the day, life is too short to let negativity cast a shadow over your light. The sun rises every day, no matter how dark the night before was. Be like the sun. Shine, grow, and don't let the clouds of negativity obscure your brilliance. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please make sure to like it. It'll take you less than 2 seconds and it'll put a big smile on my face. Number 4. Undermining your achievements. Have you ever shared a hard-earned success with someone only to hear them respond with a dismissive, "That's nothing," or "Anyone could have done that"? It feels like climbing a mountain, reaching the peak, and then having someone tell you the view isn't that impressive. Undermining someone's achievements is not just a lack of recognition, it's a subtle form of sabotage, eroding your confidence and diminishing the value of your hard work. Your achievements are like stepping stones across a river. Each one brings you closer to your goals. When someone undermines them, they try to make you doubt whether you've even made progress at all. But here's the truth. Their words don't define the worth of your success. Your effort does. Stoic philosophy teaches us to find value within ourselves rather than relying on external validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In other words, your achievements don't need anyone's approval to matter. They are a reflection of your discipline, resilience, and growth. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. Each stroke, each hour of labor brings the masterpiece to life. Now imagine a bystander walking by saying, "It's just a rock. What's the big deal?" The sculptor doesn't stop to argue. They keep working, knowing that the true value of their creation lies in the dedication and vision it took to create it. You are that sculptor, and your achievements are your masterpieces. So how do you handle those who undermine your accomplishments? First, don't internalize their words. Understand that people often diminish others' achievements because they feel insecure about their own. Their dismissiveness says more about their struggles than it does about your success. Second, remind yourself of the effort it took to achieve what you did. Write it down if you need to. Whether it was long hours of study, years of practice, or overcoming challenges others don't see, your journey is unique and worthy of celebration. Lastly, celebrate yourself. You don't need grand gestures. Sometimes simply acknowledging your hard work with gratitude is enough. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who cheer for your victories as if they were their own. Remember, true supporters amplify your light. They don't dim it. At the end of the day, don't let anyone downplay what you've achieved. Life is a series of milestones, and every step forward is a triumph worth honoring. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Be proud of your progress and let it fuel your next achievement, regardless of who recognizes it. Number 5, emotional manipulation. Have you ever felt like someone was pulling invisible strings to control your emotions, making you feel guilty, ashamed, or even doubting your own reality? Emotional manipulation is like a puppeteer controlling the marionette, except you're the one being pulled, and the strings are your feelings. It's subtle yet destructive, leaving you questioning your worth and autonomy. Emotional manipulators are masters of deception. They twist words and situations to serve their narrative, often disguising their tactics as concern or love. Imagine this. You're on a clear path toward your goals, but someone keeps moving the signposts, making you doubt which way to go. They tell you it's for your own good, but in reality, it's to keep you confused and under their influence. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to such manipulation: emotional clarity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Emotional manipulators thrive on your reactions. By mastering your emotions, you can break free from their grip and reclaim control over your life. Think of your emotions as a ship sailing on the ocean. A manipulator stirs up waves, hoping to throw you off course. But with a steady hand on the wheel, rooted in self-awareness and logic, you can navigate through any storm. How do you identify emotional manipulation? Look for these signs: constant guilt-tripping, playing the victim to gain sympathy, or twisting your words to make you feel like the villain. Once you recognize these tactics, it becomes easier to defend yourself. The next step is setting boundaries, firm ones. Let the manipulator know their behavior is unacceptable, and don't shy away from enforcing consequences if they persist. Boundaries are like a shield, protecting your peace and emotional energy. Additionally, practice detachment. Don't let their words or actions dictate your sense of worth. A manipulator's goal is to provoke an emotional reaction, but if you respond with calmness and clarity, their tactics lose power. As the Stoics teach, focus on what you can control: your response, your perspective, and your choices. Lastly, remember that walking away is an option. Emotional manipulators often rely on your fear of losing the relationship to keep you entangled, but staying in such a dynamic comes at the cost of your emotional health. Choosing yourself over manipulation isn't selfish, it's survival. At the core, emotional manipulation is an attempt to dim your light and make you doubt your own strength. But you are not a puppet to be controlled. You are the master of your own destiny. Let their strings fall away and stand tall in your truth. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Number 6, betrayal of trust. Have you ever handed someone the keys to your heart, your secrets, or your confidence, only to watch them throw it all away as if it meant nothing? Betrayal of trust is like building a bridge together, only to find the other person setting it on fire while you're still standing on it. It's more than disappointment. It's a wound that cuts deep into the core of your relationship with them and, often, with yourself. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful connections. It's like the roots of a tree, unseen but holding everything together. When that trust is broken, it's as if the roots have been severed, leaving the tree vulnerable to falling at the slightest wind. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, and unfortunately, other people's actions are not one of those things. What we can control is how we respond to the betrayal and what lessons we take from it. Imagine you entrusted a friend with a delicate vase, a family heirloom of immeasurable value. You asked them to care for it while you were away, but when you return, you find it shattered on the floor. They offer excuses, blame others, or worse, act as if it wasn't a big deal. The vase in this scenario is your trust. Once broken, it can't be restored to its original state no matter how much effort is made. Betrayal can leave you questioning your judgment, your relationships, and your sense of security. But here's the thing, someone else's dishonesty or disloyalty doesn't diminish your worth. It reflects their character, not yours. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Instead of allowing betrayal to harden your heart, let it refine your wisdom. How do you move forward after betrayal? First, allow yourself to feel the pain, acknowledge it, but don't let it consume you. Think of it as tending to a wound. You clean it, protect it, and give it time to heal. Second, reassess the relationship. Not every betrayal warrants a second chance. Some bridges are better left burned, especially if rebuilding them compromises your peace and self-respect. Finally, learn from the experience. Betrayal teaches us to value transparency, set boundaries, and recognize red flags in the future. It's a painful teacher, but its lessons can strengthen your resilience. Trust, once broken, rarely returns to its former glory. But you don't have to carry the weight of someone else's actions forever. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Choose to react with grace, wisdom, and the resolve to protect your heart in the future. At the end of the day, betrayal may shake your foundation, but it can never take away your strength to rebuild. Let it serve as a reminder of your resilience and the value of trusting wisely. Number 7, envy and sabotage. Have you ever felt the silent sting of someone's jealousy, disguised as subtle jabs or harmless comments? Envy is like a shadow. It follows silently, darkening every step you take toward your goals. And when envy turns into sabotage, it becomes an active force working against your success. It's not just unpleasant, it's toxic. Imagine climbing a mountain, each step bringing you closer to the summit. Envy is like someone below tossing rocks to make you stumble, and sabotage is them deliberately loosening the ropes you depend on. Both aim to pull you back down, to keep you from reaching heights they either fear or desire for themselves. Stoic philosophy teaches us to remain steady and unmoved by external forces. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Envy and sabotage, on the other hand, are the antithesis of this gratitude and clarity. They arise from insecurity, feeding on what others have instead of appreciating what one possesses. But here's the important thing to remember. Their envy is not your burden to bear. It's their struggle, their storm, not yours. However, the damage it can cause to your peace and progress is real, and you must guard yourself against it. How do you recognize envy and sabotage? Often it hides behind fake compliments, unprovoked criticism, or accidental mistakes that hinder your work. Pay attention to patterns. Someone consistently dismissing your successes, spreading rumors, or undermining your confidence isn't a friend. They're a saboteur. What can you do? First, distance yourself. You don't have to confront every envious person, but you also don't need to keep them close. Protect your mental and emotional space like a fortress. Second, don't retaliate. As tempting as it might be, stooping to their level only entangles you further in their negativity. Instead, focus on your path. Let their envy be a reminder of your progress. After all, people don't envy what isn't remarkable. Lastly, build alliances with those who genuinely support you. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your victories as if they were their own. Remember, a supportive environment isn't just uplifting, it's essential for growth. Envy and sabotage are like weeds in a garden. Left unchecked, they can choke the life out of your aspirations. But with awareness, boundaries, and the wisdom of stoicism, you can keep your garden thriving, untouched by their negativity. As Seneca said, it is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Let envy and sabotage fuel your determination, not your doubt. And when you reach the summit of your success, their efforts will seem as insignificant as pebbles against a mountain. If any of the points resonated with you, be sure to comment, "Thank God I learned it," to share your thoughts and let us know how it connected. Number 8, encouraging bad habits. Have you ever found yourself surrounded by people who knowingly or unknowingly encourage behaviors that lead you down the wrong path? It's like planting seeds of weeds in a beautiful garden, watching them grow unchecked and wondering why the flowers never seem to bloom. Encouraging bad habits isn't just about making poor choices. It's about actively reinforcing patterns that prevent growth, success, and inner peace. Bad habits are like chains. They start small and seem harmless, but over time they weigh you down, limiting your potential and clouding your judgment. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true freedom comes from self-discipline, from making choices that align with our highest values. In the words of Epictetus, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Encouraging bad habits, however, is the opposite of freedom. It's a way of chaining yourself to unhealthy patterns. Imagine a person trying to climb a mountain with a backpack full of rocks. Each rock represents a bad habit: procrastination, negative thinking, indulgence in toxic behaviors. As they climb higher, the weight grows heavier, making it harder to reach the summit. Encouraging these habits is like giving that person more rocks to carry instead of helping them lighten the load. So how do you deal with people who encourage bad habits? First, recognize the influence they have on you. Often these influences come from places of comfort, familiarity, or even love, but that doesn't mean they're healthy for your growth. The people who encourage bad habits may not even realize the harm they're causing. They're simply reinforcing the behaviors they themselves are stuck in. The key is to take responsibility for your choices. While you can't control others, you can control how much influence you allow them to have on your life. Stoic wisdom teaches us to choose our companions wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to be better, who encourage growth, discipline, and healthy habits. Next, set boundaries. It's important to know when to say no to behaviors that don't serve your well-being. If someone offers you another drink when you're trying to quit alcohol, or encourages you to skip a workout to binge watch TV, it's time to speak up and protect your goals. Remember, kindness doesn't mean enabling others to hold you back. Lastly, take responsibility for your own habits. It's easy to blame others for our failures, but at the end of the day, it's our choices that shape our lives. If you find yourself slipping into old, harmful habits, recognize that change starts with you. Every day is a new opportunity to choose differently. At the end of the day, encouraging bad habits isn't just about others influencing you. It's about you taking control of your life and deciding what habits deserve to take root. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Make those thoughts and the habits that follow serve your highest self, and the weight of bad habits will no longer hold you down." If you've watched the video this far, make sure to comment "Thank God" to let us know you're with us.